On October 7th, 1 year ago, the Jewish people experienced the most deadly day in our history since the Holocaust. We know that some 1,100, maybe more people in the state of Israel were brutally murdered. And we know that there were 200 approximately people who were put in captivity, and some remained hostages, some were killed. Not very long ago, there was a ceremony to honor Hirsch Goldberg, Poland, who was living in Israel, and he was swept away, taken to be a hostage. And he managed to survive, even though at that first encounter he lost half of his arm. And then we found out not long ago that Hirsch had become the victim of Hamas. His family all spoke of this incredible young man, 23 years old, and all the things that he had done for the community at large, and what a wonderful person he was. His parents said, what we can't give up on is the release of the remaining hostages. We don't know how many are still there, but the release of the remaining hostages. And so, I've certainly committed myself to doing everything I can to make that happen. Hirsch's aunt, Abby Poland, and one of his grandmothers also lives in the 9th Congressional District. I have had the opportunity to meet with them on a number of occasions. My heart goes out to all the families that are mourning and are feeling such sadness right now as we mark this terrible day. But I also want to mention the thousands of people in Gaza, innocent people who have had nothing to do with promoting the kind of war and devastation and illness and lack of health care, etc., in Gaza. It is now past time really, for a negotiation with the Netanyahu government and Hamas to finally have a ceasefire, end the conflict, turn over the hostages, do humanitarian assistance for the people in Gaza. And we need to encourage getting to work on doing that, right away. So I think everyone knows that it has been a priority of mine to make sure that older Americans have all the rights and the needs fulfilled that they need. The United States of America is a hard place to get old, particularly if you're a woman. And so well before I was a senior, I was director of the Illinois State Council of Senior Citizens, which is now called the Alliance for Retired Americans. And they had their luncheon, and I'm honored to be invited every year. Senator Durbin was there as well. And we talked about the priorities for seniors. We want to make sure that seniors, and we had an Older American Bill of Rights that I helped draft that was presented into the Congress of the United States that said that they should have the kind of wealth and health that they deserve, and to make sure that they have Social Security and Medicare, that nothing can be done to take that away, even though some of my colleagues in the House of Representatives have plans that are not so good for either Social Security or Medicare and Medicaid. So these are very important priorities that I talked about at that event. So I was not surprised to see my dear friend, Bee Lumpkin, the ripe old age of 106 to be at this event. You should see how cute she looked in her outfit and how absolutely agile she was. Someone said, "B, we want to applaud you. Stand up." Up she popped. And then I watched her sit down in her seat. She didn't even touch the seat in order to perfectly and easily sit down. It's kind of magic. B is a union person. She belongs to a couple of unions. She tries not to miss an event. So it was full of ready to go seniors who want to fight for their rights and the rights of all older Americans. The United States of America does not have a long-term care policy. It's kind of you're on your own. And then again, when it comes to women who have had lower wages over their lifetimes, it really comes into effect when they retire. So we have our work cut out for us, and I'm ready to go. In my office, I met with members of the Recording Academy. These are the people who do the Grammys, and they are all from the Chicago area in the 9th Congressional District. And it was fabulous because they also performed some music for me. It was absolutely fabulous. But they have a very clear agenda, and I am very sensitive to that. One of them has to do with AI, artificial intelligence, where their work can be taken from them and repeated, sometimes with their voices, sometimes not, and then sent out, and other people make money on it. They were also talking to me about music tourism. Now, we had a lot to do with the beginning of the blues in the city of Chicago, but now too, why aren't we doing more advertising about the vast amount of music that is here? And this week, I went to the grand opening of the Evanston Animal Shelter, brand new. This is a really great place. And of course, when I got up to speak, I had to mention what an animal lover I am and to talk about my dogs, Eleanor and Franklin, who are 10 years old now, and to report that while Ellie is doing just great, her old self, that Franklin now, his back legs, he has a neurological disease, don't work anymore. My husband says, well, maybe we accidentally named him for his namesake, Franklin Roosevelt, who also didn't walk, but he was a great leader. And my Frankie is still enjoying life. We're doing everything we can still to be able, with the right equipment, to take him on walks and to take him to the beach. Not easy, but we want to give him the best life that we can. But you should know that it is a no-kill center and that it has cats and dogs. We saw some kitties there, but none of the rest of the animals weren't in yet. And what they also have is a medical suite, which is so important to take care of the animals. There's beautiful outdoor space. So I was happy to it wasn't actually cut the ribbon. They cut a cookie, and that's what woke up the dog that was there named Zeus, who said, well, I'm not going to rest anymore. I'm going to come over and check the cookie. The other thing to know is that it is the first building in Evanston to be an on-site carbon emission-free building. So it's doing a lot of good things all at once, and I think maybe a model for other buildings to come. This wonderful shelter is open for adoption. This is something you ought to think about. Come and see the animals. I can't imagine myself living without them, but it really is wonderful for people, middle age, older, and certainly for kids to learn how to take care of an animal. And if you're not an animal owner, this becomes your family too. That's certainly how I feel and I have felt through all my life. So, take a look and consider adoption. Well, that's it for me. Wide variety of issues. That's one of the things that makes my job so extraordinary. And as soon as I have more, I'll be back with my plans and pans, and I hope you will be too. Thanks. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.